Hey guys, it's Dean from Maven BJJ, mavenbjj.co.uk. Check out the website for all your jiu-jitsu needs in the Woking Send area. Continuing on with our series of attacks from mount with my good mate Steve here. Right, let's get started. So, we're in mount position. Again, we've gone through some basic attacks of taking the neck, taking the arm, going for the armbar. Now, let's talk about how he's going to really, a good educated jiu-jitsu player, if they feel that they're in trouble from the mount position on the bottom, a lot of the time we talk about they go into a shell position. Okay, the shell position allows them to quickly defend the neck if they need to, and they keep their arms together, which means that they can grab and protect the other arm if it starts getting to attack. Now, there's a little bit of a positioning detail we need to go through before I go on to the actual technique, and that is right now I'm in mount. This is just general mount. Now, if I go to the side, what you can see is I'm on top of his hips. Okay, we kind of got into this position, not really because I choose to be. This isn't really the optimal position for mount. This is just a typical position for mount. This will then give him ability that if he wants to push his hips up, I go flying. I've got to get my base. I have to then get back into position to start doing the attack. Now, what a good position is he is usually shelling up. That's why I'm sat on his hips, because while he's defending his arms and defending his neck, his elbows are on the ground, or at least slightly off the ground, pushing my knees where they are, which means that I don't want to go backwards, because then that will take me out of mount, and then I've got to deal with these legs again. And I can't move up him because his elbows are in the way. He's in this position. I'm trying to push him. He's pushing down on my knees. Now, what this is why we set up the different techniques, and say if I start attacking his neck, he might bring the arm up to then try to defend it. Now look at where his elbow goes. It's on the ground, pushing against my knee, stopping it coming up. This comes up. I bring the leg up. Okay, I can bring the other one up. What I do is, this is called high mount. High mount is I've now taken his hips out of the game. I'm not sat on his hips. The weight is not there, so if he books his hips up, I sit pretty. I'm not doing anything, okay? I've taken away his ability to book me and knock me off. So he books up. I'm just sit here, okay? I've also isolated these arms. Now, these arms are very easy to attack with a wrist lock. I can then go for an armbar from this position, a wrist lock into an armbar from this position. There's a lot we can do. High mount is very frustrating for our opponent as well, because I am sat on his chest or around his midsection, or kind of around his midsection, which is putting pressure and is making it hard for him to breathe. He's also very claustrophobic because his arms go into this position. So I'm kind of also covering his mouth, covering his nose a little bit, but also sort of just making him feel claustrophobic. It's not a nice position to be into. And if I can get high mount, the way that he escapes is he has to first deal with the fact I'm in high mount and push me back down somehow and get me down into normal mount, which then he can hips up. Okay. Now, that is a horrible position to be in, and I feel sorry for anyone who goes into it, because it is like, okay, I have to be very careful. If I make a mistake, he's going to get my arm. If I open my neck, he's going to get my neck. I can't really do much to defend from that position. I have to get back into standard mount if I was the guy on the bottom, which is why we go into that shell position to stop anyone from going into high mount. So that's his shell position. His elbows are stopping me from bringing my knees up, and I can still attack. I can still make him go, his elbows come up basically, and go for high mount. But let's take advantage of the fact that his elbows are down like this. Okay, so if I just switch this around, we're in this position. Okay, he's keeping his elbows nice tucked in, but he's also got his hand up ready to defend against me attacking his neck or attacking one of his arms. So I would want to go to high mount by bringing his arms up, bringing my knees forward. But let's do something a bit quick so that we take advantage of the fact that he's doing this position. Okay, I'm going to choose one of the arms. Okay, I don't telegraph what I'm doing by grabbing the arm and pinning it down. I don't do that because he knows something's going to happen then. I just push my hand over the arm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, when I go for this technique, I'm just going to push down, which means that he can't bring his arm out but he doesn't feel I'm grabbing it, okay? This, I'm telegraphing, I'm attacking. If I just push down, doesn't always mean there's a telegraph. In our sort of monkey brains, it's a feeling of when something's grabbed, we immediately think, oh, release, get off me, get off me. While someone's being slightly pushed, he's worrying about other things, not as paying as much attention, okay? So we're gonna push down, okay? As we push down, this hand is attacking this arm. This hand is just gonna come up and hook his head, okay? Now, this is not necessarily registering. If I do this quick, it's all one movement. I don't go there, unless I'm practicing, okay? This is usually just one movement, I mean. Straight in. What I'm doing is I'm creating some space underneath his neck, okay? And I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. From here, because I'm going to be pinning this arm to his chest. This leg, my leg, is going to kick around and is going to go underneath his neck, okay? While I do this, I'll do it quickly. I grab, hook the head, I pin this down, I then bring this around, okay, into a mounted triangle position, okay? So what I did with kicking the leg around is I stopped his ability to bring his arm out here, okay? If I'm kicking the arm around here, he's defending us, he's stopped the momentum, okay? But by pinning this down, all I'm looking is to kick this leg around and down, okay? Now, we're in that mounted triangle position that you'll find in jiu-jitsu. The triangle is very, very popular, and it's always about having one arm and his head and his neck are in the inside of this sort of triangle shape that my legs are making here, okay? That's the triangle. One arm's in, one arm's out, and I've got control. What this is doing is it's choking. It's putting pressure against this artery and this artery. So it's a blood choke, where if I was down on his windpipe, that would be a windpipe choke, and it's a bit more painful. It's like, oh, I can't breathe. While if you cut off the arteries on either side, it stops blood flow to the brain. They will start a lot of people pass out from this because they don't realize it's on, or they're too busy struggling that they realize, oh, I should have tapped maybe like 3 seconds ago. Ugh, and I sleep. I mean, everyone's fine. As soon as they go limp, like there's your opponent will get off you. And you'll wake up and you don't even remember it happening. But a blood choke is a very good way to tap out someone who's maybe a bit stubborn. And it's probably the safest way to incapacitate someone compared to like breaking a limb or kind of putting damage on the windpipe. But I'm in this mounted triangle position. Now, anyone who's commonly used to jiu-jitsu will know that this triangle position, you generally with a triangle position is you get the knee and you get the leg behind the knee. However, so this is a kind of a mounted triangle with the leg, my shin, the top of my foot is on the back of my knee. Now, this isn't a good position to be in because if he somehow manages to knock me this way, if I don't manage to post, what this is doing is it's bending my toes backwards, and sometimes this will leave you open to injury, just because depending on how violently he might be kicking out and pushing me this way, I might get a toe caught against the mat, and then I could like injure my toe. So when we go for mounted triangles, we generally don't lock up the triangle like this behind our knee. We keep it as close to our knee as possible, so you've got that triangle shape, but you don't need to lock this up. I'm going to use my hand to grab my shin here, just to maintain that triangle position, okay? This arm needs to be on the outside. If this somehow is on the inside, you're not doing a mounted triangle, you're doing something else. We're in this position, okay? First position that we can do, well, from here, again, it's kind of similar to the high mount we discussed earlier, where he's got my pressure on him, okay? So I'm not going to be I forgot the word. I'm not going to try and do this too quickly, okay? Because I am making him carry my weight. He's losing breath. He's going to be panicking, okay? While I'm just sat here, or he might be up on your knees like this, okay? But I just want to make sure that he doesn't get his arm free to get out of this position, okay? We'll do 2 attacks from this mounted triangle position, okay? This arm, depending on what he's doing, this is called a mounted triangle. So if you know the triangle attack, which a lot of people learn as a white belt in jiu-jitsu, they're going to expect me to roll and go and set up a triangle, okay, which I'll do as the second attack. But from here, depending on what he's doing with this arm, he might give me options, okay? If he is keeping this arm nice and straight, okay, as I said before, don't ever straighten your arms in jiu-jitsu because a lot of the time that opens you up to an armbar or an attack or a wrist lock, okay? But if he's having to do this, I'm not going to give up the chance to get that armbar, okay? What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to hold that against my chin, my chest, okay? I'm on my knees, okay? But one knee's going this way, one knee's going this way. All I've got to do is step around, and I've got his arm still, okay? I pull this in, and that hyperextends for the armbar, okay? Very, very short, but very effective, quick little armbar, okay? Worst comes to worst, if I somehow miss, and maybe it's not in the right position, or I just don't feel I got it, I can go back into my mounted triangle, okay? I've not lost anything, but hey, if there's an armbar, you go for an armbar. It's jiu-jitsu. So from this position, what you'll do is we do want to finish off with the triangle. Now, if we locked up the triangle like I did before, as I said, the knees, the toes are quite vulnerable against the mat, and it's probably just not worth it, just in case you get your toes caught. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little roll. Okay, I'm holding onto my shin. I'm going to roll against the ground, and we get into. He is on his knees. This is it's called my guard. Well, this is a triangle position, but basically I'm on my back. Now, when I'm on my back, I've held on to this, so that triangle shape of my legs around his neck and on his arm, pushing into his arteries, is still there. But because I'm now on my back and my toes are safe, I can now put my knee over, and I've got that nice little triangle choke, okay? If I need to, I can pull down, and he will tap out. It's a very uncomfortable position. Now, I'll probably cover triangles in another session, but from here, because it's a dummy, flexibility, and his neck is really thin, so I can just go, boom, and I've locked up the triangle. That's a triangle choke on his neck. Now, if he was a bit, real, what I'd need to do is adjust. So I could hold on to this, put my foot on the side, shrimp out, get to a 90-degree angle, maybe underhook his legs, and then open up, as long as I can get into this position, okay? Well, I'm not going to go into too much detail, just because. Okay, so let's do that from another angle. We're in this position, pun shelled up, not doing the inflatable arm man. He's shelled up, he's defending. I'm going to pin one of his arms down to his chest. At the same time, the opposite arm is going to come, grab his head, create that space. I'm going to kick that leg over and around the back of his neck. Okay? From here, I can use this arm to adjust his arm if need be. If his arm is too out to here, I kind of want his shoulder to be pressing against that artery on the side of his head. I can pull his arm across, grab my shin, and then I'm in the mounted triangle position. If I need to, if he's given me the opportunity, even kicking that arm out, I can step my knee over his head, extend, there you've got the arm bar. If not, I'm going to grab onto my ankle, okay? I'm going to use my other arm to spin round. I've got that triangle from my back position, and all I got to do, shrimp out, lock up, squeeze, and heel tap. Okay, so I say sort of traditionally, you learn how to do the triangle from guard. So when I'm on my back and the person's in between my legs, okay, that's guard position, and that's where I usually do a lot of attacks. So where white belts generally start attacking with the triangle. But don't think that you can't get the same movements from mount position. A lot of the time, I like the hierarchy of attacking the neck, attacking the arm, but if he's very good defensive like this, it's just very nice to have that option of pushing through, in, push the arm over, armbar position, grab the shin, roll, triangle, squeeze on the neck, cuts off the artery, and then it's all over. In terms that Steve taps, and then you have another roll, okay? Well, hopefully that makes sense. Remember, check out Maven BJJ if you want to join us for a beginner's class. Obviously, we're all hoping for May, June, depending on what the government decides, where we can come back to full contact training. Obviously, come down if you have any interest in jiu-jitsu, then come have a go. Obviously, if you have any interest, contact me as well. Just send a message to whatever you're reading this, watching this video on. I'm happy to answer any questions just to make you feel more comfortable, or confident or comfortable to come to one of our classes. We're very sort of friendly and we are very welcoming. And I think everyone should do jiu-jitsu. All right, cheers guys.